So the police found weed, guns, heroin, cocaine, a backpack with a scale, cell phones, plural, like multiple. Hey y'all, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is another true crime episode. So if you're ready, let's go. Okay, y'all, so before we get into today's case, as y'all can see, I straightened my hair, and I definitely thought I had more hair than this. You know what? My problem is that I keep fucking cutting it. So every time I cut it, it's not going to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? Anyway, I did my nails again because the other ones popped off, and so yeah, here are the new nails, if they will focus. So I stuck with the spring theme with the pink. Like I said, the other ones popped off, and so I just had to do them again. And I know some of y'all don't give a flip about my nails and whatnot, but I do, and some of the other subscribers do, so I'm gonna keep showing my nails. And if you don't want to see that, and you're just here for the case, then go ahead and skip about 25 to 30 seconds, and we should be wrapping up the nail situation. But yeah, y'all, other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say. So we just gonna go ahead and get into today's case. And today we are back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I know we've been here quite a few times, but that's my home city. So when I see cases that's from Milwaukee, I'm kind of more drawn towards them. Not that I'm not drawn towards other cases, because obviously I am, but the ones from Milwaukee specifically, they really do hold a more special place in my heart. Like the victims, just knowing the places that they've been, just knowing that they grew up where I grew up is kind of like, it kind of pulled on my heartstrings a little bit more. Not saying, like, I really don't want to say that because it kind of sounds like then I'm being insensitive to the people who are not from Milwaukee, but that's not the case at all. It's just that I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, because I really don't want to make it seem like I'm being insensitive to everybody else. But yeah, Milwaukee just holds a special place in my heart. So if it seems like I've been doing a lot of cases from Milwaukee lately, it's probably because I have. Or hell, Wisconsin as a whole, honestly. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about Narianna Staten. And she was born on August 21st, 2002 to her mom, Angie Gonzalez. And I wasn't able to find her dad's name, but I do know that she had at least 2 siblings. Definitely could have been more, but from everything that I gathered, there were at least 2 siblings that she had, and it was a brother and a sister. And Narianna was a young, loving mother to her son, Aiden, who was born on December 1st, 2019. And she had him when she was 17 years old with her boyfriend at the time, Renato Hall, who was 19 years old. And he was born on November 3rd in the year 2000. And from everything that I found, he was an athlete. He went to Bradley Tech High School where he played football, and he even had a Huddle account. And I didn't know what Huddle was, but I found it while I was doing my research, and it seems as though it's like it's a social media for athletes. That's what it looked like to me. So he did have a Huddle page. It was pretty inactive. Now, I don't know if people still use Huddle, or if Huddle is like an old thing, kind of like Black Planet or MySpace or something like that, where it's still there but don't nobody be on it. I don't know, but I did see that he had a Huddle page, and he played football for Bradley Tech High School. However, that is all the information that I have for him. And unfortunately, that is also all of the information that I have for Narianna as well, because while I was researching this case, once again, there was very, very little about their childhoods, their upbringings, just them in general. And that kind of irritated me, because I've noticed a pattern that if the case is not broadcast for the whole world to see, like if it's just a local case or just something that brushed on the news briefly, then there's not a lot of information, especially about the victim. Now, and that could be because their families really don't talk to the media like that, but I feel like these victims, especially the smaller town victims, they deserve to be remembered as well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, and I'm probably not articulating myself very well right now, but I hope y'all get the gist. Like, I really just get irritated sometimes when I'm doing these cases, because I really cannot find a lot of information about the victims especially. But anyways, I did find Narianna's Facebook page, and according to her Facebook page, at least everything that I saw, her and Renato had a it was like an on and off, hot, cold, good, bad type of relationship. Sometimes she'd be loving her man, and sometimes it'd be like, F this, F him. But it didn't seem like nothing out of the ordinary. And I mean, obviously, she could have been holding back a lot and not sharing everything. But like I said, from everything that I've seen, it was literally just a on off, hot, cold type of relationship. And that's pretty much all I have about her, him, and them until about April of 2021. Now, by this time, young Aiden was already born, and he would have been a little bit over a year old at this point. So like I said, it's April 2021, and the police are dispatched to a home on 58th and Ruby. And I couldn't find who called the police or who was making these statements, because everything that I read, it kept saying persons at the home or the threatened, right? So whoever it was who called the police told the police that they had been threatened by Renato. And they told the police that he said that he would shoot the whole family if he didn't get his stuff from the house. Now, this was just a threat call. There had been no actions taken, but they felt like these threats were serious enough for them to call the police. And they said that whatever Renato was trying to get from the house, he wasn't able to get, but that was the extent of everything. Like, he just threatened them. And they pretty much just wanted there to be some type of documentation to saying, like, look, this man has threatened me. This man has threatened my whole family. Y'all need to know, right? So police make the report and then they leave. But like I said, Renato wasn't able to get whatever it was that he was looking for from the house. So allegedly, a couple days later, Renato returned to the house and threw a brick through one of the residents' car windows. And I don't know if the police was called for that incident or not, but it is reported that a day after the brick had been thrown through the window, the house had been shot at. And the police was called once again. Mind y'all, this is all happening at the same house on 58th and Ruby. So they had been threatened. A brick had been thrown through one of the residents' window, and now the house is being shot at. So it was assumed that Renato was the one behind the brick and the shooting, because he literally told them that he would shoot up the whole family, right? So either he's making good on that threat, or this family is just like got the worst luck in the world, okay? And so the police come and they take a report. Of course, they try to gather any evidence that they can get. And during the course of gathering the evidence, they collect at least 10 shell casings. So after they collect the shell casings, obviously they send them off for analysis, and it was determined that 2 separate guns had been used. So it was believed that Renato and at least one other person had come to shoot up this house. Now, unfortunately, they didn't necessarily have proof that it was Renato, so they really couldn't do too much about it. They could just take the report and be on about their way. So Renato was not captured, arrested, or even detained for the offenses. And just a couple days later, after the shooting at 58th and Ruby, another shooting would occur on 27th and Melvina. Once again, the police were called, and this time it was documented that the police was talking to Narianna. And what she told them was that she had moved from 58th and Ruby after the shootings to 27th and Melvina because of everything that happened over there. Turns out the house that was on 58th and Ruby either belonged to her sister or her dad. I'm not really sure which one. And after she left that house, she moved to either her sister or her dad's house on 27th and Melvina. So, you know, the house on 58th and Ruby and the house on 27th and Melvina, either one of them belonged to sister or dad or sister or dad. Like, I don't know which one was whose house, but both of them was either her sister or her dad's house. Am I making sense? So another person who was at the house on Melvina told the police that they heard at least 3 gunshots before they saw Renato jump into a car and then the car sped off. Now, Renato wasn't the driver, okay? They said they saw him jump in the car and the car just peeled out. So after hearing that, the police was kind of like, okay, so if these 2 shootings are connected, that kind of makes sense as to why there would be 2 different shell casings found at the other residence, because maybe the getaway driver in this shooting was the second shooter in the previous shooting, right? And so the police started gathering evidence, and they collect 1 shell casing, but they note that the house had actually been shot twice. And also from the scene, they collect an insurance card that had Renato's name on it. And so that definitely put him at the scene and made the police even more sure that these two shootings was connected in some type of way, but they really still didn't have any solid evidence. But that would all change once they got the ballistics testing back, because the prior shell casings was already at the ballistics lab. And so once they sent this single shell casing from this shooting to the ballistics lab and compared it to the other shell casings, they found that at least one of the guns was the same gun used at both houses. So now they know without a shadow of a doubt that these two shootings were connected. Now, I don't know if they weren't able to prove that it was Renato though, because I never saw nothing that said that he or his accomplice, alleged accomplice, was arrested for the shootings of the houses. But what I do know is that whether him and his alleged accomplice got arrested, didn't get arrested, or was out on bond at the time, they, or at least Renato, was most certainly out on July 4th of 2021 when the events of this case take place. So it's July 4th, like I said, and based off of Narianna's Facebook post on this day, it would seem as though she and Renato was having some type of communication issue, to say the least. So this post that Narianna wrote on Facebook on July 4th, 2021 reads, "Man is so delusional." Now, I didn't say this, but Man is Renato's nickname. So she said, Man is so delusional. I've been calling this man all day to let him see his baby. Fuck, I'ma keep hounding a grown ass nigga about their child for. A motherfucker don't want to see my baby for real, and that's totally fine. So from that post, it sounds like she was calling Renato so that he could see their son for the 4th of July. And Renato just wasn't answering the phone. So the day goes on, the day progresses, and barbecues are being had, drinks are being drank, you know, parties are starting to get underway. You know, it's the 4th of July. We drink, we eat, and we have a good time. So day turns into night, and like I said, the festivities get underway. And so Narianna pull up to a 4th of July party, and what do you know? Renato's there with another girl. And so Narianna kind of flip out, which is understandable. Bro, I've been calling you all day about our son. I don't even want to talk to you about us, me and you. This ain't got nothing to do with us. I've been calling you so you can see your son on the 4th of July, and you out here with another female. And that's why you ain't been, is that why you ain't been answering my calls? You've been ditching our son for another girl? Is that what we own? Because that's how I would feel. So I can only imagine that that's how she felt. I'm not trying to like put emotions on her or say that that's how it was. But as a mom myself, I could understand that. Like, I know you're not dissing my baby for another girl. I just know you're not. And so with that, an argument ensues. And this argument is taking place outside. And this is not like a private type of argument, like a private type of setting. Because like I said, once again, 4th of July, the kiddies got sparklers, fireworks is being set off. Like, everybody at the party is pretty much outside. And according to somebody who was at the party with them, they said that everybody was outside and they was popping off fireworks and stuff, but they could see that Narianna and Renato was arguing. And then they said that that verbal argument turned physical and that they seen Narianna run away and Renato chase her, but they kind of just minded their business because this didn't have nothing to do with them. They just kept on watching the fireworks because it wasn't their business. But then people started screaming and running. And if y'all know anything about a black function, y'all know that one person runs, everybody's running. But before they ran, they did see Renato holding a gun and panicking, and they saw Narianna on the ground. Renato had shot Narianna and he fled the scene. He left. So obviously the police were called, and when they got there, Narianna was pronounced dead. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that I saw in a couple of articles that Narianna was actually pregnant. Now, I don't know how far along she was, but if I'm remembering correctly, and I think I am, she was pregnant. Now, the police obviously have to question people, and as they do, they realize that Narianna had her son, and they needed to find him. They needed to know what happened to him because Narianna is here. She's no longer alive, and the baby is missing. Is he in danger as well? Like, they didn't know. So they put out an Amber Alert right away. And they also knew who they was looking for as a suspect because a couple of people had identified Renato as the shooter. And so they was looking for Renato. But I guess kind of more importantly, they needed to find the baby because if Renato did this to the baby's mom, what was this man capable of, right? And so luckily, they did end up finding the baby the very next morning at one of Renato's family members' houses. And the family member said that Renato had dropped the baby off and then left. And they had no idea where Renato went. So luckily, the Amber Alert was able to be canceled and Little Aiden was found safe and secure at a family member's home. He was not harmed in any way, shape, or form. But now they need to find Renato's ass. But they wouldn't catch up to him till 7 months later on April 3rd, 2022. So from everything that I read, it would appear as though he had got caught during a traffic stop. And it's always a damn traffic stop. Like, if you know you a wanted person, why is you out here committing crimes on the road? If I ever commit a crime and I get away with it for like a little bit, I am going to be the most pristine driver. Okay, you're not about to catch me doing 1 over, 1 under. Y'all not about to catch me for nothing. But anyways, it also appeared that he wasn't the only one in the car. So maybe he wasn't the one driving. But I'm not getting in the car with nobody either. Because y'all not about to get me caught up. I'm just saying. But anyways, whether this man was wanted for murder or not, he was probably going to jail anyways because of the contents that the police found in the car. So let me tell y'all what they found. So the police found weed, guns, heroin, cocaine, a backpack with a scale, cell phones, plural, like multiple, and Renato's ID. So yeah, buddy, you're going to jail. You're going to jail anyways. So yeah, after he was arrested, Renato said that the weed and the gun definitely his. So that's why I said it seems as though maybe he wasn't in the car by himself and he was trying to say that like, yeah, the weed and the gun was mine, but all the hard stuff, all the stuff that looks like I sell drugs, that's not mine. I just smoke weed and carry guns, you know, for protection. Now, I don't know if the police believed him or not, but ultimately that wasn't the reason he was arrested. And they wanted to know about not only Narianna's murder, but they also wanted to know about the shootings that happened on Ruby and Melvina. So according to Renato, he said that the first shooting happened on Ruby because he was selling drugs at the time and he had ended up leaving some of his work at the house. And when he went to go get it, it wasn't there. So that's when he said like, look, I'll shoot this whole bitch up. And then came back in an attempt to get it. And that's when the house was shot up. But he wasn't able to get it. And so in a second attempt to get it, he went to 27th and Melvina. And him and one other friend went that time. But he did say that he wasn't the one who got out the car to shoot. He said it was somebody, it was the other person. So I really don't know what's true. Because on one hand, you're saying you sell drugs, but all the stuff that was in the car that looked like you sold drugs wasn't yours. And so why would you, I don't know. So in regards to shooting Narianna, he pretty much said that it was an accident. He said she did pull up on him and confront him about being at the party with another girl. They got into an argument and he was sitting in the car and he had a gun with him. And he said that Narianna hit him in the chest, and once she did that, that's when the gun went off and he fled. He took his baby to a family member's house and he went on the run. Now, I'm not 100% sure that I believe that story because according to that witness, they said that Narianna ran away and he chased after her. So it's looking like you did this on purpose. But he did confess though to being the one to shoot her. So he ended up copping a plea deal in November of 2022. And on February 6th of this year, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison with 10 additional years of extended supervision. And I don't really know what the extended supervision is. I don't know if that's like probation. Is it parole? Parole and probation is two different things, I know. But I don't think I really understand the complete difference between the two. So, I don't know. But anyways, 10 years extended supervision. I feel so bad for Aiden. Like, I feel so bad for Aiden. Because once again, this is a young child whose mother was taken away from them for what reason? And not only is his mother no longer here to be with him, but his father is the one who did it. I cannot imagine the trauma that puts on a child, even if they're too young to remember what happened. Just growing up and knowing and understanding what your father did to your mother has got to cause some type of psychological issues. I just don't think I will ever understand the thought process behind taking your child's other parent, because essentially you're not only taking their life, you're throwing yours away. And like, I just don't understand it. I don't think I will ever understand that, and I don't ever want to be able to understand it, because then I will be a deranged individual like them. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, my mind cannot fathom the thought of taking my child's parent away from them. I don't know. I just pray that Aiden grows up happy, healthy, and one day he is able to receive answers to his questions, because I know he's gonna have some. I hope his daddy don't deprive him of at least that knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, I pray that his dad gives him at least that, if he ever even decides to talk to him, because that's a strong possibility as well. Aiden might not want to talk to his daddy at all. He might not want to have anything to do with him. By the time Renato get out of jail, Aiden's gonna be 32. I don't know, y'all, but that's all I have for today's case. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. This son she shared with a man named Rodeo. Man's name is not Rodeo. Bitch. Renato. And he, by all accounts, was an athlete. He was an athlete's athlete. And he had, and I found, and is it Renato? Renato? Yes, Renato. And he was pretty much still out there just living his best life. And so a couple before they saw Renato hop in a car and before they saw Renato jump in a car and with 10 years additional with 10 years of additional with 10 additional years of supervised with 10 additional years of extended supervision. God damn.